making chicken enchiladas. First thing I did was cook the chicken breasts in the Instant Pot, which I didn't show, but basically I just put 4 cups of water with 2 heaping tablespoons of chicken bouillon, mix that up and pop that in the Instant Pot. And then when I pull it out, I did save about 4 cups of the broth. I wasn't sure how much I would need. And then I used my new little chicken shredder just to see how it would do, and it did pretty good. Then I just lightly fry the corn tortillas. This time I got the king size one, so I had to make some adjustments in the way that I laid them out in the casserole dish. I just lightly fry each side. I put them onto a paper plate with a paper towel, and then I'll put a little paper towel in between each one, and I just continue that process. That way, while they're cooling off, the grease can get soaked up a little bit. Now back to our shredded chicken. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I am actually doubling this recipe so I can take one of the casseroles to my son and daughter-in-law who have a newborn baby. So I am kind of doubling the sour cream that I'm gonna add to things, etc. So just keep that in mind. So for this, I'm adding an entire tub of sour cream, giving that a good mix. And then once that's combined pretty well, we're gonna add in some chopped olives. Just from the can is fine. The beauty of this recipe is that it's got very few ingredients and very simple ingredients, so you can definitely upsize it or downsize it as needed. Once that's all mixed up, just set that aside. Now we're gonna make our sauce. So for this one, again, I am doubling. So I used a large can of cream of chicken soup. Usually it's called the family size, but it's the double can. And then I went ahead and added a entire tub of sour cream. I started out with half just to kind of see how it would go, but I did end up using the whole tub. But again, I'm doubling, so just keep that in mind. And then I added some diced green chilies, just whatever brand you like. Sometimes I'll do it with fire roasted too, just kind of depends what I can find. And I give that all a good mix. And then you'll see that I do go back in here and I add the rest of that container of sour cream. I definitely made more sauce than I needed, but I only had a little bit left over. I just wanted to be sure I had enough for both of the casserole dishes. And then I'm just slowly adding back in some of that chicken broth that I saved from the Instant Pot earlier. So I started out with 2 scoops. In the end, I think it was about 4 scoops that I added, and so it was probably about 1.5 to 2 cups of liquid. And then I'm just trying to get to a certain consistency, and you'll see that here in just a second. Just kidding, it was 5 scoops. But again, probably about 2 cups of liquid. Now we're gonna build our casserole. So normally I just use the regular size corn tortillas, and this time I only had the king size. So I went ahead with it because the casserole dishes I was using were a little smaller. I kind of had to cut the tortillas to fit, but however you can do it is fine. Make sure that you add a little bit of sauce to the bottom of the pan before you add those tortillas. That will help things not stick. And then I kind of divided up the chicken, just pre-divided it a little bit because I knew that I would need two and two basically for these casserole dishes. And then I'm just spreading that out there. It's a semi-thick layer, not too thick. And then I just drizzle some of that sauce right on top, both of the casseroles. And I hit it again with a little more, and then I just spread it around evenly. And then I'm gonna come in here with the cheese. You can see that bag's almost empty, so I did use another bag here. But I just go ahead and put a nice layer of the Fiesta cheese on. You can use any cheese blend that you like. So once that was all nice and cheesy, I repeated the process. I did another layer of tortillas, another layer of the chicken mixture, and that should use up the rest of what you have. And then the sauce, and then the cheese again. And then we're gonna start on our top layer. So for the very top layer, we just do the tortillas. That's what I'm doing here. And I'm cutting them to fit again. We'll call this little segment Fun with Shapes because I made a few different shapes to fill everything in. One thing I do as I go, and I don't know if you noticed it earlier in the video, but each layer I will run the spatula along the side and sort of tuck everything in, so that way we don't get any hard bits during the baking process. This is our last layer of sauce. Like I said, I did have a little bit left over, but I was glad I made what I made just to be sure I had enough. And you just want to cover everything up again so you're not getting any crunchy parts sticking out in the end. And now we're just gonna add our final layer of cheese. Lots and lots of cheese. I then popped these in the oven at 365 degrees and I cooked them for about 45 minutes until they were golden brown. Just keep checking them, let them get nice and golden and bubbly. And this was our finished product. And it was delicious. I hope you guys give it a try. Thanks for watching.